Alright, here's your second pain in the butt. This little son bitch right here, let me tell you what. Man, they really packed it in there, I'll tell you. Because you're going to mangle your hand up, reaching in there and getting these little son bitches at that little son bitch out of there. Let me tell you what. So, this is the one you're looking for. It's the 6K817AB to intake. You can see this little flag coming off of it. It's a real pain in the ass to get this hose. But this is both ends right here, right? So basically, yes, you're going to want your tire off because, wow. So essentially, it is it's going to be hard to show you guys. So, it is that little nipple right there with the grease on it. Oh, barely hit. There it is. There. You'll see it coming right off of there. You gotta reach up and around underneath the steering column, but you'll see it. It's there. That little nipple right there. So once you pull that off, you'll see the other end. The other end's the real pain in the butt. That's the one that's connected to the engine, and you gotta reach. I don't even know how I got my hand in there, but I pretty much humped around underneath the wheel, twisted up, got my hand in there. And once you get the first one off, you can figure out the little worky tab, and then you're good to go. They pull off real easy. You just gotta feel it, feel the tab. The tab pops real easy. Like there's this little tab right here on it, and like while you're feeling around it with whatever finger, all you gotta do is pop it up like that, and you'll feel it. And once you pop it, it yanks right off real easy. So basically, you got the one, this end with the flag is pretty much gonna be right up where I just showed you. Up and around under here. Right where I just showed you. Right behind this hose. Right up in there. And once you pull that off, you can kind of straighten it out. And you'll feel the other end. And that one you can't see at all. So you kind of just got to reach your hand in there. Follow where it's going. And once you reach it, I mean, you'll be barely touching it with your fingers. Just push this tab and start pulling away. And it'll pull real easy. And you'll feel it on there. So it's hard to get off, but once you get it, you're there. So now I'm going to root my stuff. That was the second pain in the butt part. Besides the clip on the wire harness. The little red clip you want to push forward before you pull, and it comes off real easy too. So let's go to the next part. All right, installing the hoses is just as fun. So what I recommend is it's hard to feel around in there with a glove on, so I took the glove on the back of my hand and put it against some of the hoses that were trashing my wrist. So that definitely helped. Now, see that little red valve? That's the PCV valve back there. Now it swivels on top of there a little bit, and it's behind that little wiring harness right there. So route the hose up so you don't have to pull it around and try to bend it through afterwards. So the slack is up here, right? And then try to reach your hand in there. You got to come around underneath the steering column, up and over them hoses, back there to that red thing, and then have the hose connector part in your hand. And you can kind of, what you got to do is you kind of got to pull this stuff down with one hand, with your left hand, while your right hand's all up in here, up and around and behind. It's really hard to get it in here. So you got to get in a really weird position to do it. But then you can see it. And once you get it on there and you push it on, it pushes on real easy and you'll hear it click. And then you can push the little tab down and it'll lock it into place. It's a real pain in the butt. You just got to work with it and work some magic and twist around and get your hands in there and you'll eventually get it. It's that little red thing that I showed you there in the beginning. The second one should be a lot easier. Yeah, I mean, I've watched the other videos of installation. There's really no way to get a camera in there. It's just packed really tight. I mean, the engine's just fucking big. I mean, it's a 2.3 4-cylinder. It's like, oh, it's a 4-banger, but it's taking up some space in that summit. So there ain't a lot of room. And all that PVC shit's off to the side here. So it's a real fucking pain in the ass. But, you know, it ain't terrible. I've done a lot worse shit. So, I mean, that's kind of what it's going to look like when you're done. You basically got this hose here going up to the intake, and that hose there going into the PVC coming up. You just want to make sure you ain't got no kinks or nothing like that, so the system flows good. And them clippies clip on there real easy. So the design was pretty good. I mean, you can't secure it until it's all the way on there and you can feel it. And when it does, you can feel it click, and then you just push the thing down. So it kind of grabs it for you, you know. So, like I said, the one on the top, that's the one that went to the easy one. I did that one last. And then that one right there, that goes back to the PVC, the red one. So you got the red one, then there's the yellow one right here. The yellow's the intake, the red's the PVC coming out. So the PVC one's almost straight back in there, you know. And like I said, that's the one that's really gonna mangle your hand. There's really no way to get a camera in there. It's a pain in the balls. So whatever. Once you get it, you get it. And then you get that little wire harness back on. Same thing. Once you push it on, you hear it click, and then push that red thing back into place. So all these harnesses, they come off real quick. The truck should be fairly new, so nothing should be really jammed on there with a bunch of crap. And then once you get it, you get your hoses all routed. So I got both of them already coming up through. Like I said, you want to put some of it up when you're installing it too. So, you know, you can figure out how it's going to be. It'll help you when you get it in there. It'll be nice and